We just got 22 tweets from FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried apologizing for the chaos that's happening in the crypto industry right now. Just to bring you up to speed, if you don't already know, FTX was pursued in a deal by Binance. Binance stepped away from that deal, citing some of their own due diligence. And now SBF is saying of that deal that there were other matters that were certainly at play that perhaps he knew about, that Binance ultimately, when they were kicking the tires, perhaps they didn't have the best of intentions anyway in pursuing them.
The overall takeaway from this tweet storm, I would say, is this. This is clearly a company in turmoil, taking me right back to Countrywide Financial and Andrew Mozillo going on TV talking about his company just in turmoil. But a couple tweets to highlight here from this tweet storm. First, Bankman-Fried right off the jump says, hey, I effed up. Next, tweet number 20, at some point, I might have more to say about a particular sparring partner, so to speak. But you know, glass houses, so for now, all I'll say is, well played, you won. That might be a reference to CZ. They've been sparring over the past couple of days as well. Of course, Binance is supposed to come in here and bail this company out. That's not going to happen anymore. So SBF getting his little shot in there at CZ.
I'm looking at the 9th out of 22 tweets within here. My number one priority by far is doing right by users. I'm going to do everything that I can to do that, take responsibility, do what I can. 10th out of 22 tweets. Right now, we're spending the week doing everything that we can to raise liquidity. Can't make any promises about that, but I'm going to try and give anything I have to if that will make it work. So here are the things. They have to find a potential player that now wants to pursue them financially as well. You think about the number of companies that have essentially seen their investments burned to this point in time in FTX. And I think back to companies in Sequoia Capital. You can think about some of the SoftBank Vision Fund even. They were a part of a deal and one of the financing rounds as well. I mean, you can go all the way into the celebrity partnerships that they've had in Tom Brady and into Naomi Osaka, or you could just look at the number of different holdings firms and investment firms and private equity that's gotten into them as well. Temasek Holdings, they've also made significant investments over the years. And so if you've already tapped some of those sources and they're saying, hey, look, we're not touching this any further than we already have, who is likely to now invest in FTX?
It's unclear, and this is stunning. Tweet number 6, Brad, they saw $5 billion of withdrawals on Sunday. SBF saying that is the largest by a huge margin. And I go back to this. At the core of this issue, of course, is obviously money, but is the hubris and the BS. All these folks pumped into the mouths and faces of investors for 2 years, propping up this industry. The Lamborghinis, the ridiculous conferences at the Bahamas, all of this was a red flag. And at some point, crypto will come back. Bitcoin will probably go back above 20,000, might even go higher, who knows? But you have to, as an investor, be careful when you see these things. These are glaring red flags in an upstart industry like this.
Withdrawals are amazingly important to point out. I'm glad you brought that up. Some of the comments that he has sorted within this, too, that this is about FTX International. FTX US, the US-based exchange that accepts Americans, was not financially impacted by what he called the shit show, to phrase SBF there. But it is 100% liquid is what he's saying. Every user still can fully withdraw, and he's got updates on its future coming there. There are going to be a ton of updates coming around FTX, all of the subsidiaries they're in, and what the role for SBF is after all of this is settled at some point, because we could legitimately be going towards class action lawsuits at this point too.
Right, and you brought up something very good in the morning meeting. All these companies that invested on their balance sheets in cryptocurrencies. Now we could be looking at another quarter of pretty large write-downs. I look at a company like AMC. I'm pumped to talk to AMC CEO Adam Aron. Outside of the movie theater industry, November of last year, they started accepting crypto. Well, what is that? Do they want to accept crypto right now instead of dollar bills? Would you?
I don't know that I would definitively want to if I was a company. You have companies in Overstock. Overstock for years has accepted crypto holdings. Now it's only a small portion of their balance sheet, and they do convert that into fiat currency. But this is not the time to really be going full force into that.
Give me that paper money.